world leaders have gathered in Osaka, Japan for the annual two-day meeting amid a growing number of disputes and crises involving the world's largest economies. South Africa is the only African country that is a member of the G20, and President Cyril Ramaphosa is already in Osaka, Japan for the summit. Well, let's wrap up the week in South Africa with our correspondent there, Becky Malay. Hello, Becky. Good afternoon. Good to see you. Well, Becky, if you can hear me, President Ramaphosa is in Japan for the G20 Summit. Now, what is Ramaphosa expected to push for at the summit, even as he is scheduled to have bilateral meetings with Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe and Chinese President Xi Jinping?
Good afternoon. President Ramaphosa has been all about investment, and more investment since he came into power. So we are part of the reasons, or one of the biggest things that he wants to push forward in the G20 Summit is more foreign direct investment coming to South Africa. And further to that, I think one of the biggest highlights is the fact that he is aiming for President Buhari to sign the free trade agreement that the other countries have already signed. So they are still in that tight spot where they need another big economy to support that initiative, so that it can be much easier for them, because, you know, with Nigeria's big economy, it will really push forward all other smaller African countries. He's all about investment. He wants to bring back more and more, you know, foreign direct investment into the country.
Okay, so wrap up the week for us. How has the equities and the rand behaved this week ahead of the G20 Summit?
Well, the rand became a bit stronger. The rand has been firming. In fact, this morning it has been the strongest since the past 5 months, because we saw the rand standing at 14.1, which, you know, a few weeks ago, against the US dollar, a few weeks ago it was almost at 15 rand per US dollar. So it was quite interesting to see these sudden changes. But then, funny enough, the stock market didn't respond so well, because the shares have dropped. You know, the stock has fell. The JSE top 40 fell with 0.91%. And the all-share index fell with 0.7%. So I think maybe investors are just awaiting and seeing what will be the outcome of the G20 Summit, and to see if there will be actually more people coming in to invest in South Africa and investing in the rand.
We'll wait and see what the outcome would be. Thank you for your time, Becky. All right, let's meet Cameroon mechanic who makes his own vehicles and now dreams of building a tractor.
Cedric Simon, a 27-year-old mechanic who lives and works in the western region of Cameroon, has built his own car with recovered and recycled materials on a budget of 2.5 million CFA. That's about $270. Building a car has been a long-time dream for the father of 3.
When I was a child, I used to look for bamboo wood to make toy cars. So since I was a child, my dream has always been to build a car, and I've always loved working with metal.
Cedric said one of his greatest challenges was the skepticism of the people closest to him.
I said I wanted to build a car. Almost all my friends told me I was crazy. The only person who supported me was my wife and a friend whose house I used to start building the car. Without them, I don't think I would have made it.
His wife, Vanessa, says she supports him by helping him uphold a positive attitude and stay self-confident so that he can focus on his projects.
He is born with that passion. He's someone who I admire and encourage a lot. Because he wants to reach his dreams, achieve his dreams, realize his passion, all I can do is, when he's stuck or not well, is to help him morally, cheer him up, make sure that his mind is always calm, because he constantly needs to think about it.
While the Cameroon government has applauded Cedric for his work, he says they are yet to provide him with the kind of financial support he needs. Residents of Bafoussam, Cedric's hometown, say it's time the government helped develop local talent like Cedric.
He's not alone. There are many, hidden. We live in Bafoussam with him, but we didn't know he was there. But when he showed his work, we discovered him. And I think the Cameroon government should use these kids to end poverty. We don't have enough money to buy imported cars, but if they are made locally, they could become affordable for Cameroonians.
Cedric's day job is to repair and maintain Caterpillar vehicles, but now he is looking at using the experience he's acquired working on heavy machinery to build one of his own.
Business officer Brooks Enswissel has outlined the ride-hailing firm's plans to offer new services in Nigeria and other African countries. Uber is in talks with regulators over plans to expand into 2 West African countries and provide a boat service in Nigerian megacity, Lagos.
In much of sub-Saharan Africa, there are low levels of personal car ownership, rapidly expanding populations, and a lack of efficient mass transport systems in fast-growing cities. Uber, which said it has 36,000 active drivers in sub-Saharan Africa, operates in a number of countries in East Africa and South Africa, but is largely absent from West Africa, aside from Nigeria and Ghana. Uber has identified West Africa as a region for potential expansion, and the company is in talks with regulators in Ivory Coast and Senegal regarding the possible launch of services.
Senegal and Dakar, very logical. Again, back to my original point, big cities with great opportunity, and so both Abidjan and Dakar are logical opportunities for us.
A number of motorcycle ride-hailing firms have also targeted West Africa as an area for expansion in the last few months. Ivory Coast and Senegal have 2 of the world's fastest-growing economies, according to the International Monetary Fund. And Nigeria, which has Africa's largest economy, is the continent's most populous nation. Nigeria's commercial capital, Lagos, a megacity of around 20 million inhabitants built on a lagoon where Uber began operating in July 2014, is beset by heavy congestion. Uber says the company is in talks with state regulators about providing a transport system on the city's waterways as a way of bypassing its choked road.
We're looking at, of course, the waterways here, which are very interesting to us as it relates to, potential service that may include the great geography that you have here. We spent yesterday meeting with a bus company, Lagos Bus Company, to think about what we could do with buses. But in general, we work inside whatever frameworks the regulator and the government provide.
The company launched a boat service in the Indian city of Mumbai in the last few months. Uber faces stiff competition in African cities from Estonian ride-hailing firm Bolt, which until early 2019 was called Taxify. Bolt has grabbed business largely by taking a smaller cut from drivers using its app.
And with that, we wrap up today's edition of the program. And of course, for the week, thank you for watching. I'm Chimezie Obi Iwago.